that you know what I truly believe in my heart. I also believe that if they would have received him as the whole, then the kingdom would have been set up already in the past, and I believe there would never have been no need for a crucifixion, because if they would have received him, then Isaiah 60 would have been totally fulfilled, that the Gentiles could come to thy light, and all this would have already been in the past. I believe that without the resurrection, we are still lost, and we have no hope and are doomed to hell, period. And I believe there would never have been no need for a crucifixion. It's time that you know what I truly believe in my heart. And I believe there would never have been no need for a crucifixion. I believe that without the resurrection, we are still lost, and we have no hope and are doomed to hell, period. And I believe there would never have been no need for a crucifixion. I believe that without the resurrection, we are still lost, and we have no hope and are doomed to hell, period.
Greg, you seem confused. How can there be a resurrection without the crucifixion? Now, I warned Greg that I was going to do this video and asked if he wanted to retract his statement, and this is his reply. Now, you will not find this video on Greg's channel because he took it down when I confronted him. But since he obviously has not changed his mind, I went ahead and made my video response. So Greg says if the Jews would have accepted Christ as their Messiah, there would have been no need for the crucifixion. Now, he is wrong on several points. First, it was prophesied that Christ would die. Here briefly are a few well-known verses. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? They pierced my hands and my feet. They part my garments among them, and cast lots upon my vesture. Surely he hath borne our griefs, and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Greg, do you really think God was going to let anyone rob Christ of his crowning glory of the cross? I believe Adam sinned so that there could be a cross. The glory of the cross is the reason for everything. But that is another video. Point number 2. The cross was decreed by God. Him being delivered by the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of God, ye have taken by wicked hands, and have crucified and slain. There was no other outcome possible, because God had decreed that Jesus was going to that cross. How in the world could it have been otherwise? Even if you, somehow, could get around God's decree, the prophecies alone had to come true, or God would be a liar. Point number 3. Let's say God didn't prophesy and didn't decree Christ to die, and the Jews would have accepted him as Messiah. Could the cross have then been done away with? Well, let me ask you, how was David going to be saved? Or Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? What about Noah, Moses, or even Abel? How were they going to be justified? What about the very Jews standing right in front of Jesus, the very ones that are accepting him as their Messiah? How are they going to be saved? They all have sinned. Every Old Testament saint has sinned. The law could not save them. And by him all that believe are justified from all things, from which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God, it is evident, for the just shall live by faith. Okay, so they were saved by animal sacrifice. But Hebrews 10 verse 3 says, But in those sacrifices therein a remembrance again made for sin every year. For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sins. So now what? Hebrews 9:22 says, Without the shedding of blood is no remission. That is, of sin, there is no typical remission without it. and there can be no real remission but by the blood of Christ. No instance can be given of pardon without it. If it could have been otherwise, the blood of Christ had not been shed. For so it would seem to be shed in vain, and its satisfaction to be unnecessary. Nor is it agreeable to the justice of God to forgive sin without satisfaction, nor is it consistent with His veracity and faithfulness to His word. John Gill. Then Hebrews 10 goes on to say, Wherefore then he cometh into the world, he saith, Sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared for me. In burnt offerings and sacrifice for sin thou hast had no pleasure. Then said I, Lo, I come, in the volume of the book it is written of me, that's prophecy, to do thy will, O God. Then said he, Lo, I come to do thy will, O God. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second. By the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Christ once for all, and that's for all time. And every priest standeth daily, ministering and offering oft times the same sacrifices, which can never take away sins. But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sin forever, sat down on the right hand of God. For by one offering he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified. So Greg, even if the Jews could have accepted Christ as Messiah, the cross could not have been done away with. The very salvation of all the Old Testament saints hinged on that cross. No one could have even gone into this kingdom Jesus was promising, for all have sinned. And without the cross there is only hell for everyone. Without the cross there is no kingdom. I got caught up in this hyper-dispensationalism years ago, and at the time I thought it sounded pretty good. Then some people made this very statement Greg made about the cross, and that's when I ran. I knew right then and there they were wrong.